Oh, hi, I'm Vivian Guo. I'm a current senior at the Chapin School. Before that, well, I was born in China, lived there for 5 years, and my dad was an employee at the United Nations, so we moved to Kenya, stayed there for 4 years. In between, we also lived in Geneva. And then when I was 9, I moved here in New York. I went to middle school at the United Nations International School for 4 years. And then I came to Chapin in 8th grade. It's been an absolutely phenomenal experience here. And so next year I'll be going to the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm Garcelle Coldros. I'm currently a graduating senior, class of 2013. I came to Chapin in 7th grade. I came from public schools in Brooklyn. And next year I'll be going to Williams College in Massachusetts. And my family is from Haiti. I think my most memorable Chapin moment was in 7th grade when I entered Chapin. Around October we went to a trip to Boston, and as a new girl, it was like the second month of school. I thought it would be kind of awkward. I wouldn't really know anyone. It was actually surprisingly a really good experience because we bonded over really awkward moments, really funny moments, scary moments even. Like our bus broke down at one point. But it was an amazing trip. Like I got to really quickly understand what my grade was all about, and I found some close friends during that trip. So it was an amazing trip.
My most memorable Chapin experience is probably the first day of school. I was entering 8th grade, and I was actually a week late because I had just undergone surgery, so everyone had been expecting me. I was the only new girl entering that year, and I hadn't showed up. And then a week later, I come in, and everyone is so welcoming. I'm introduced by the teacher, and everyone just crowds around me, 60 girls, yelling and screaming and hugging me and yelling their names, and I'm trying to keep track of everything.
So we learned about the Interschool Leadership Program. In 10th grade, there's a trip to Frost Valley in the middle of, I think it's in the winter term, and the director of the program, and he talked about the reason why he created this program was because our generation, we're a generation of leaders, we're very interactive, we're energetic, we just want to do things. So I think Vivian and I, we were part of the 3rd year of the program, and it was in 10th grade that we had to apply. I'm going to talk about the application.
It was an application process. We wrote essays, and then we were called in for interviews. I'm pretty sure I cried during my interview. And then we got a call one Sunday morning. I got a call Sunday morning. I started screaming. And then it started junior year. We would have around one meeting once a week. Monday evenings from 6 to 8 for 2 hours. We would discuss leadership theory, talk about Machiavelli, is it better to be feared or loved? We'd talk about civic engagement, urban involvement, level 5 leadership, all of these really cool leadership theories. We would take personality tests and try to determine the best type of leader we could be. And starting senior year, we started really focusing on civic engagement and thinking of projects we could implement back in our schools.
I think what was great was how, I think the director, he focused on getting many different mindsets. He wanted lots of different, he wanted diversity of thought. It was a wonderful experience, working with these different types of thinkers and leaders.
I think the conversation was also made a lot more interesting because we had students from different schools, from different interest groups. And so junior year, our mentor told us to start thinking about a project, a civic engagement. So we were supposed to connect Chapin in a meaningful way to the outside community through civic engagement. And so I'm a huge musician, and that's been the driving force throughout my life. So I knew that I wanted to provide that opportunity to girls who might not otherwise have that chance. And so my project was really to build a music celebration, a music open house day for girls in grades 2 to 5. And this actually happened this year in April 2013. I worked with Ms. Quigley, the Chapin administration, and the head of the music department to host a music day for 70 girls from a girls network called Girls Prep.
So with my project, I went back to conversations because that's what I love to do. So recently at Chapin, I decided to use the Chapin upper school students as a part of my project. So I showed a clip of the movie The Color of Fear. And basically The Color of Fear, there's 8 different men of different racial descents. There's a few Asian men, there's a few white men, there's a few black men, and a few Latino men. And basically they're put in a room for a few days to talk about different issues such as racism in America, what does it mean to be American. They also talk about, interracial racism, and etc. And we watched like the first, I would say 16 minutes of the film, and then afterwards I opened up the discussion to the upper school to speak freely about what they think racism is, what they think it means to be American. And at first, I was a little nervous, like, is it going to be like awkward silences? But everybody from 8th grade to 12th grade had so much to say, and everyone was so honest with their responses. And afterwards, people, continued the discussion, which was my main goal, to get
this opportunity at Chapin, which really is at its essence an amazing education experience because it is an all-girls school. I went to a co-ed middle school before Chapin, and every day I think how much I've changed and grown. I came to Chapin this very introverted, shy girl, and by senior year I find myself in all of these leadership positions, getting into all these roles. And I think partly because I've seen so many of my friends, so many of these older girls in all of these leadership positions, seeing that every single leadership position at school is filled by a girl is really so empowering.
Definitely apply for SDLC in 10th grade. You will not regret it. What else? Don't be afraid to be the different person in the class because you probably have a lot to teach everyone else.
What can I say? Chapin food here is absolutely phenomenal. Really just savor it as much as you can. Eat a chocolate muffin every Friday.
Okay. For to tear at Rec Day. Bravely and rightly.